Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to do a fight breakdown by Naoya Inoue versus MJ. Really quick, if you like the videos, this is the time right now. Subscribe to the channel. Literally takes one click. Also, if you could, please hit the thumbs up button. It shows love and it supports this channel. And to all of those who have been doing this, faithfully doing this, please tell a friend, circulate the videos, let them know the Fighting Words is here. We're going to start this thing off with power. We have MJ, who has 13 fights, 10 KOs, and 1 loss. We have Inoue with 30 fights, 27 KOs, 0 losses. I'm going to go with Inoue. I think he's a safe bet. Now, granted, he does have more fights. He actually has double the fights, but still, I think he's a safe bet. And it's more or less, not necessarily just because you have more KOs, it's who you're knocking out. That's what I'm going with. Let's see. Next, we have boxing IQ. This is a very important question when it comes down to these two in this fight. Who has a higher boxing IQ? Now, of course, on paper, it looks easy to say, oh, it's got to be the champ. It's got to be Inoue. You know, look at what he's doing. And that's fair and that's true. And I'm not going to argue against you if that's your form of reasoning. However, when you're looking at Akhmadaliev, we have to mention one thing. Eastern Europeans. Anybody who's coming from that Soviet style of boxing, these guys have tons of fights under their belts. So Akhmadaliev has well over 300 fights under his belts and 80 KOs. So he's seen everything you can imagine in the ring. That's a lot of fights. But you're looking at, anyway, you're going to say, well, okay, that's fine, you know, but my argument is, look who he's knocking out. And that's a fair argument. So what I'm going to say when it comes to boxing IQ is it's going to be a tie. Speed, who's faster? I'm going with the monster. I think he's faster. I think he's a faster twitch. And I think his game is built around speed. While you're looking at Akhmadaliev, his game is built around power and durability. That's it. Cardio, power, durability. While you look at Inoue, it's a lot of factors, but one of the main components of his game is speed. Defense, who has a better defense? So I just said that Akhmadaliev, one of his character traits is his endurance and his ability to take punishment. I don't like that he's so willing to take punishment, but he can definitely do it. He's a strong individual and he proves it every time. I look at the monster. He has great hand placement. He knows how to move his head. He has great footwork. He knows how to cover a lot of distance in one leap. He knows how to parry shots. When it comes to defense, he has a lot more ways to be defensive. And I'm not saying Akhmadaliev cannot do these things. I'm just saying from time to time, he tends not to do it. Now, maybe the reason why he doesn't do it is, hey, I don't respect the guy who's throwing the punches at me. But nonetheless, you should practice it. Especially with this opponent, the monster, you need to practice it because you can't take too many of those consistently and just think you're going to be all right for the next round and the next round and the next round. It's not going to happen. Mental toughness. Mental toughness. Who's more mentally tough between these guys? Is it the monster or is it Akhmadaliev? Well, Akhmadaliev has a loss. And if you've heard me speak on losses before, I'm going to say it again. Losses are funny because if you got knocked out, that means somebody bested you. But if you got outpointed, that means there was a plateau you couldn't get to. That's a you thing. You getting knocked out is a him thing. He was a circumstance that got you or rendered you unconscious. But if you got outpointed, that's a you thing. You didn't step on the gas. Not going to say you didn't prepare because it's not always about preparing because sometimes you could have prepared completely and totally. But when the going gets rough, you're going to have to step on the gas. Anybody who's been in a ring knows you're going to have to step on the gas. I don't care what sport you're in. You're going to have to step on the gas. If you're in a boardroom, sometimes you're going to have to step on the gas. That's just what it is. It's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be beautiful. It's not always going to be pretty to watch or see, but you're going to have to step on the gas. And I can say in the fight with Palace, he didn't step on the gas. While you look at Naoya Inoue, he's been down a few times. But guess what? When he gets back up, he starts cleaning house. He starts wrecking shop. He starts knocking guys out. He starts bludgeoning guys. He starts beating the living daylights out of them when he gets back to his feet. So when it comes to mental toughness, I gotta go with the Monster. And I haven't said it, but it's obvious. The Monster has moved up in weight classes, doing the same thing now that he was doing in lower weight classes. Mental toughness, that's mental toughness. Gotta give him that point. Durability. I think both guys are durable. I do. I think both guys are durable. I think Inoue's been down more than Akhmadaliev, so I'm going to give him the point for that because it's solely on durability, you know, how much you can take. Akhmadaliev can take a lot of punishment. He can walk through a lot of fire. Inoue can do the same thing to an extent, but I think that's where his boxing IQ comes from. It's like, I can do it, but I'm not trying to get hit with anything unnecessary that I can avoid. That doesn't make any sense. If I can avoid it, I'm going to avoid it. So, with that being said, Akhmadaliev when it comes to durability. Range. Who has the better range between these two guys? Is it Akhmadaliev? Is it Inoue? Who has the better range? I think Inoue, as I said earlier in the video, he can just cover distance. Like, it gets extremely fast. He's over here, but next thing you know, he's over here. Or he's over here, he's over here. He can prance around. Not just move around, he can prance around. He's like a butterfly in there. While you look at Akhmadaliev, his legs, his stance is wide, his legs are planted. He's moving around, but number one, it's calculated movements, so you know where he's going to be. That's not always the best thing. I think if you're in there with a slugger, that works. I think if you're in there with another hard hitter, that works. But when you're in there with a slick, calculated boxer, now, Inoue is a calculated boxer. What you dropped him with, you're not going to do it again. You're going to get one opportunity to drop him with that punch, so you better make it a good one. And if it's not heavy enough to keep him down, you're in trouble because he has learned from that knockdown. When I look at range, I think Inoue can cover more range. I think he can fight in different ranges better than Akhmadaliev. I think Akhmadaliev, in a perfect world, he would put everybody in a telephone booth and beat them senseless. But it's not a perfect world, and it's a very big ring. And you need to know how, which he is pretty good at cutting up the ring. I got to give him that. But there are certain spots in the ring that he's better or he's more dangerous. When you look at Inoue, he's dangerous everywhere. On the outside, he could jab your head off. On the inside, his body punches are nothing to play with. So either way, it doesn't matter. Recovery. Okay, so this kind of goes to durability. I'm going to give it a tie because the truth is I think both of them are pretty solid at it. I said Inoue has been down. I think he's been down like 3 or 4 times. But he gets back up and he shakes the cobwebs off and he goes to work. While you look at Akhmadaliev, I don't know if he's been down. I believe he's been down once. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he'll stand right there in the pocket and go. So if you're not hurt, there's really nothing to recover. While you look at Naoya Inoue, he was hurt, and he said it in his last fight. He was hurt with Roman Gardinas. He said he was hurt. And he said to himself, he said this in the post-fight interview, I'm not going to get hit with that punch again. So when it comes to recovery, yeah, I'm going to give it a tie because Akhmadaliev probably isn't going to get hurt. And then you look at Inoue, he recovers really well. And you can see post-knockdowns and, when you look at after that knockdown, he does turn into the monster. Let me say it like that. He completely turns into the monster. Cardio. I also think that's a tie. Akhmadaliev can go. He has got an engine. And most of these Eastern Europeans, they have an engine. You're not going to tire them out. You look at a Dmitry Bivol. You look at an Artur Beterbiev. You look at a GGG. You're not going to tire these guys out. It's just not going to happen. If that's the plan, you need another plan because that's not going to happen. While you look at Naoya Inoue, he knows how to vary his punches. That's one thing Akhmadaliev doesn't know how to do. Everything doesn't need to be 100%. Everything doesn't need to be 100%. Some things just need to be 10% because I'm just trying to gauge where you are. That's all. Or I just want you over here, so I'm throwing something over here. I don't have any power on this thing. I'm just throwing it over here so I can get you over here. And Naoya Inoue understands that. Akhmadaliev, I don't feel like he always understands that. But they both have great gas tanks. Got to give it to him. Another tie. Creativity. The monster. I mean, come on. Like, he can adapt. He's unpredictable. He's great at going upstairs and downstairs. He's great punch selection. You know, he knows what's working. He can adjust. Not just adapt, but he can adjust. You know, if something isn't working, fine, I'm not doing that anymore. Or if you're doing something really well, fine, I'm going to start doing this. He does that really well. Creativity goes to the monster. Dog. Who has more dog when it's all said and done? It's the last round. You both guys have gotten a great pep talk in the corners. They're coming out for the last 3 minutes. Who's got more dog in them? I'm going to give this a tie. MJ has got the dog in him. He didn't have the dog in him in the Palace fight. I felt like he rallied himself back, but I felt like it was a little too late, more to say. But you look at Naoya Inoue. He's got the dog in him. If you insult him, he's got the dog in him. If you try to make fun of him, he's got the dog in him. Neri tried that. You look at Stephen Fulton. His trainer made fun of him, or not made fun of him, but insulted him and said he was on some type of steroid. He's not the guy for that. He's going to hurt you. He's going to turn into the monster, and he's going to humiliate you in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Last but not least, danger. Who's more dangerous? You know, I think Akhmadaliev is a very dangerous guy. I said he hits extremely hard. He's got a ton of experience. He's an extremely durable guy. But I think you'd have to be insane to go against a monster at this point in time. Going against Naoya Inoue right now is like saying Usyk is going to lose. It's just insane. You can't say it. You can't say it with a straight face. Like, if you look at what he's doing, he's smoking hot right now. He's on fire. And I think this is that fight. I think this is that fighter who's going to take him to the next step. I really do believe that. I thought Stephen Fulton was going to be that guy. He wasn't. I thought Neri was going to be that guy. He wasn't. Akhmadaliev could very well be that guy. And I am looking forward to it. And I think, by far, that monster himself, Naoya Inoue, is more dangerous. Drop your thoughts down below.